Welcome to another episode. Now, what you see in front of you here is a 12-volt tyre pump, or inflator, whatever you call it in your part of the world. This one is a fairly basic one, has an on-off switch, and then it has your PSI or bar. And if we turn it over, open the back, there's your 12-volt plug that plugs into your cigar or auxiliary socket in your car. And that's it. It just works off a 12-volt. Now maybe we can do better than that. This here is a 3.7-volt power bank, 1200 milliamps as you can see. And what if we got a few of these and adapted them to this? Maybe we could have our own rechargeable inflator. Now, I purchased 3 of these in a local store called Deals. In the UK it's known as Poundland, and they're £1 or €1.50 each. So I bought 3 of them. That's it there, fairly simple, rechargeable. Nothing much to write home about, but I mean, we don't want this bit here, we want what's in here. And you can see there we have a battery, and we want to remove that. Now what I've done is, with the other 2 I've already removed the batteries and I've tested them, and in actual fact they're not 1200 milliamps at all. They work out at about just under maybe 1050, which would be good enough for what we want to do. Again, I'll just remove that and we'll get back. Now with the battery removed, and we have the casing, now don't throw that away, you may find a use for it sometime, and the little USB and micro USB for charging input and output. Again, save that, you might find that good for a later project. So what we have here now is we have 3 batteries. They all came from the same type of unit, and they all reckon to be around the same. What we want to do with these now is we want to join them all together in series. So we have positive, negative, positive. Sorry, my mistake. And then we'll have when fully charged, they'll charge up to 12.6 volts, settle back to about 12 volts, and when on load, about 11.2, 11.1, 11.2, which will be enough to power the pump. And having 1000 milliamps thereabouts, we should be able to pump up at least 1 tyre. Now, saying that, you can buy yourself a cordless pump, but be aware that they're not that cheap. And that old one there you saw earlier on, that cost me €20, and I bought that some 5 years ago or more. It's seen better days, but it still works 100%. And these 3 batteries, total of €4.50 or £3. And saying that, then we're talking about in total less than €25 to make your own rechargeable pump. So let's get on with it. With the 3 batteries now, we're going to solder them. So just line them up, opposite poles, positive, negative and positive. So once you have them lined up, you can either put a little drop of super glue in to hold them in place, or a bit of insulating tape. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a little bit of insulating tape and just make sure they're all lined up nicely. You don't want to get them out of shape. Take them out and just run the sellotape over. Now they should stand up comfortably like so, and then we'll go solder them. Now I forgot to mention, I soldered them because I don't have a spot welder, or we don't have a spot welder at the moment. So the next thing we do now is we just check the voltage. So negative and positive, and we have 12.18 volts, which is good enough. So next thing we do is, again with the charger, or sorry, the inflator, remove the cable. Well, just pull it out of the space, and you'll see in here there's a cavity, and it just so happens the batteries will fit in nice and snug. So next stage then is to open the back of this inflator. It's got 4 screws, 1 in each corner, and that's what we'll do now. And 1 in the middle. There we have the basic insides. Now I should mention, the way I have it done here is the negative of the battery comes across and goes to the negative connection on the motor itself, and the positive goes over to the connection on the switch. So when the switch is in the off position, there's no circuit, and when you switch it on the switch, then it completes the circuit and the batteries will kick in. Now I didn't disconnect the 12 volt, so in effect when you have the motor running off the rechargeable batteries, you don't need to have this plugged in, or alternatively you can have this plugged into your cigarette lighter and still run the motor without the use of the batteries. Then when it's switched off, you'll still have the batteries in reserve. So once you have all this connected up, then let's just reassemble and we'll test it out. Okay, we're all assembled, and let's just see now. The batteries are a little bit loose inside, but we can deal with that at a later time. Now, in order to check to see if you're getting any pressure coming from the batteries running, make sure I have connected the right way. What you do then is you hold your finger over this and then switch it on, and if the needle goes up, then it's building pressure. That's it. Seems to be working fine. Now let's go see if we can pump up a car tire. And you can see this one is fairly flat, so let's just take off the valve and stick on there. pump. Lock it down. And you can see now it's not connected to anything. Now, admittedly, it wasn't fantastic, but the good thing about it is you have enough space in here to put another 3 batteries in and run them in parallel, so that you will have 2000 milliamps at 12.6 volts. One of the other things I've noticed as well, and it was probably deliberate, that if you switch on the meter and just check there, and you have voltage, which means you can plug this into your cigarette lighter, cigar lighter or auxiliary socket and charge the batteries back up again. Now, these batteries are designed to charge in excess of 5 volts each, so that wouldn't bring it up to 15. The most that a cigarette lighter would put out would be about 14.5 volts, so you would be safe not to burn them out. Well, I hope you found this video useful. Give us a thumbs up. Feel free to comment, like, share and subscribe, and you can find us on the usual social media platforms.